Welcome back to my YouTube channel, the channel where small coins create big surprises, where we dive into the world of rare treasures hiding in plain sight, and today's story will absolutely blow your mind because we are talking about a simple 2002 1 cent coin that became worth a staggering $5 million, not because of gold or silver, but because of the unbelievable minting errors, mechanical flaws, and production anomalies that turned an ordinary Lincoln penny into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece of numismatic wonder. And this story shows how mistakes at the US Mint can sometimes create perfection in rarity, making one coin out of billions stand out as a once-in-a-lifetime find that changes history forever. Imagine holding a penny from 2002, the kind you might find in your pocket or jar, struck at the Denver Mint as shown by the tiny D mark beneath the year, and realizing that this very coin might have hidden characteristics that could make it worth more than any collector's dream. The 2002 Lincoln cent was part of the modern zinc-based series, copper-plated to give it that familiar reddish sheen, but sometimes, deep within the minting process, small deviations occurred, planchet flaws, die misalignments, double dies, off-center strikes, wrong planchet strikes, broad strikes, die caps, or even misstruck edges. And these seemingly insignificant errors turned a 1-cent coin into a $5 million phenomenon. The specific 2002 1 cent that caught the world's attention was discovered to possess a combination of highly unusual traits never seen together before, including an extreme double die obverse, a major die crack running through Lincoln's bust, and a reverse design struck slightly off-center, with parts of the Lincoln Memorial shifted visibly to the right, giving it a ghostly appearance. Some numismatic experts also identified evidence of a partial collar strike, which created a raised, distorted edge around one side of the coin, making it slightly thicker than normal. When this coin was submitted for professional grading, both PCGS and NGC confirmed that the errors were genuine and not post-mint damage, which immediately sent collectors into a frenzy. The doubling on the obverse was especially fascinating because it affected not only the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," but also the date, 2002, creating a shadow-like effect visible even without magnification, a rare and highly prized characteristic that places it among the most dramatic double die errors ever recorded. Experts speculated that during die creation, the hub imprinting process was slightly misaligned between strikes, causing the die to carry double details. Combine that with a planchet slightly misfed into the press, and the resulting coin was a chaotic yet beautiful accident of craftsmanship. Adding to the mystery, metallurgical analysis of the coin revealed that the copper plating on the zinc core was slightly uneven, suggesting that it might have been struck during a transitional moment in the plating process or when impurities in the zinc base caused inconsistent bonding, giving it a faintly mottled tone. This rare visual texture only heightened its uniqueness. The Denver Mint, known for high production volumes, often produced billions of coins each year, which made small errors almost inevitable, yet finding one that survived undetected, uncirculated, and in nearly perfect mint state was nothing short of miraculous. When collectors realized that the coin combined multiple major errors, the bidding wars began, and soon the value skyrocketed to an astonishing $5 million, making it one of the most valuable Lincoln cents ever known. What makes such coins so desirable is that each minting error tells a story of human and mechanical imperfection. In the highly automated world of coin production, where precision is everything, even the slightest variation can create something truly irreplaceable. The 2002 penny represents the rare intersection of technical malfunction and historical preservation. One theory suggests that during the die hubbing process, the die was not properly seated, leading to the doubled image. Another posits that the coin may have been part of a die test run that accidentally made its way into the circulation batch, explaining its unique features. Even more intriguing is the possibility that the coin was struck on a foreign or experimental planchet, perhaps a blank intended for another denomination or even another country, resulting in an off-weight error that further increased its mystery and desirability. Some collectors claim that a handful of similar 2002 cents exist with varying degrees of doubling or plating issues, but none have matched the extraordinary combination seen in the $5 million specimen, which remains one of a kind. To understand why such an error coin can command millions, we need to explore the psychology and economics of coin collecting. Rarity alone is valuable, but when rarity is combined with visual appeal, a strong backstory, and verified authenticity, the market value explodes. For example, the 1955 double die cent, long famous among collectors, sells for tens of thousands even in average condition because of its dramatic doubling. Now imagine a modern coin like the 2002 D displaying similar or greater doubling, yet existing in a time when minting technology was supposed to have eliminated such errors. That contradiction between expectation and reality amplifies its significance. It becomes not just a coin, but a statement, a reminder that even in an age of perfection, flaws still emerge, and those flaws become priceless. The coin's legend only grew when it was showcased at a major numismatic exhibition, where under magnified display, every line of doubling, every microscopic die crack, and every off-center contour drew gasps from spectators. The lighting accentuated the shimmering distortions of the lettering, and many who saw it in person described it as the perfect imperfection. Reports suggest that the coin's luster remains fully intact, with no signs of circulation wear, meaning it likely escaped into private hands immediately after minting, perhaps found in a mint bag, a coin roll, or even during internal handling before release. That pristine preservation added immense value, as collectors prize rare coins that remain in mint condition since most are discovered only after circulation damage. The more experts examined it, the clearer it became that the coin defied categorization. It wasn't just a double die or a broad strike or a die crack, it was all of these in one. Such multiplicity of errors is so rare that it challenges statistical probability, leading some to call it a 1 in a billion miracle. The die cracks across Lincoln's shoulder and cheek resemble branching lightning bolts under magnification, while the reverse shows faint die clash marks, proof that the dies once struck each other without a planchet between them. This unintentional transfer of design left ghostly imprints of the obverse on the reverse die, which later showed up faintly on struck coins like whispers of the mint's mechanical memory. And because every error tells part of the mint's story, this coin serves as a record of an extraordinary moment in production history. When word spread that a 2002 D penny had fetched $5 million, it reignited public fascination with coin collecting. People began checking their change again, searching for hidden treasures among everyday coins. Videos, articles, and discussions flooded social media as enthusiasts tried to learn what to look for: doubled letters, missing plating, off-center strikes, die cracks, misaligned dies, or planchet errors. The coin became a symbol of hope for collectors, proof that incredible finds can still exist even in the age of mass production. Over time, experts continued analyzing the mechanics behind such errors. In Denver's high-speed presses, coins are struck at pressures exceeding 60 tons, with thousands produced per minute, and even a fraction of a millimeter misalignment can cause design shifts or doubling. A slightly loose die or a vibrating feeder mechanism could produce off-center strikes. In this case, the prevailing theory is that the coin's multiple errors resulted from a chain reaction, a misaligned die combined with hub doubling, followed by a weak collar strike, all within a fraction of a second. It's this cascade of malfunctions that produced a piece so rare that even seasoned numismatists call it an anomaly of the highest order. What makes the story even more magical is how it transforms our perception of value. The 2002 D1 cent was born worth a penny, yet its imperfections, normally seen as flaws, became the very source of its greatness. It reminds us that beauty often lies in imperfection, and that even the smallest overlooked detail can hide immense worth. Today, the $5 million penny is protected in a secure collection, preserved under controlled conditions to maintain its brilliant luster. Its photograph graces books, magazines, and coin forums as an icon of modern minting mystery. But what fascinates collectors most is that it could have been anyone's find. It could have been sitting unnoticed in a coin jar, waiting for the right eyes to recognize its potential. That thought keeps treasure hunters motivated, searching through rolls, bags, and jars for the next hidden gem. The coin market thrives on such legends, and every time a story like this surfaces, it reaffirms the thrill. Next, 1990 D1 cent coin. Everyone to the channel where tiny coins tell million-dollar stories and where history, rarity, and pure chance collide to create treasures hidden in plain sight. And today's incredible story will leave you amazed because we're talking about a 1990 D1 cent coin, a simple Lincoln penny struck at the Denver Mint that turned out to be worth a staggering $4 million. Not because it's made of gold or silver, but because of its unbelievable errors, fascinating minting mistakes, and remarkable anomalies that transformed this tiny copper-plated coin into a legendary masterpiece of numismatic value, a coin that proves even the smallest piece of change can carry unimaginable fortune if you know what to look for. And as we go deep into this mystery, we'll uncover why collectors, experts, and auction houses went wild when this extraordinary coin was discovered, how it was made, what errors it carries, and how one single minting accident gave rise to one of the most valuable modern pennies in U.S. history, showing us that perfection is overrated and sometimes it's the flaws that make history. The 1990 D penny, at first glance, looks like any other Lincoln cent you've seen 1,000 times in your pocket or wallet, bearing the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, with the mint mark, D, just below the year, indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the busiest and most technologically advanced mints in the world at that time, producing billions of coins each year with precision machinery designed to eliminate human error. Yet even in such a controlled environment, mistakes can happen, and sometimes those mistakes create legends, and that's exactly what happened with the 1990 D1 cent error coin that stunned the collecting community when it surfaced. To understand why this coin is worth millions, we need to explore the different types of errors and how they may have combined to create such a unique specimen. In 1990, the U.S. Mint had just come off a decade of major technological changes, moving fully to copper-plated zinc planchets after 1982 to save on production costs, but this transition brought new challenges because zinc reacts differently to pressure and temperature than copper, leading to plating bubbles, weak strikes, and bonding flaws that sometimes slipped through unnoticed. The rare 1990 D penny that became famous combined multiple types of mint errors into one coin, starting with a dramatic double die obverse, a visible doubling of Lincoln's profile and inscriptions such as "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," giving the coin a ghostly, shadowed look that immediately catches the eye. And this type of doubling happens during the die-making process when the hub used to impress the coin's design onto the die shifts slightly between strikes, leaving behind a doubled image that gets transferred to every coin struck by that die. But this coin didn't stop there. It also displayed a significant misalignment of the die, which caused part of the design on the obverse to be off-center while the reverse remained properly aligned, creating a slightly crescent-shaped rim on one side and a wider blank space on the other, a striking visual error that makes collectors' hearts race. To make matters even more intriguing, metallurgical analysis later revealed that the coin may have been struck on a transitional planchet, possibly a leftover bronze planchet from pre-1982 or even a foreign planchet intended for another denomination, causing it to have a slightly heavier weight and a different tone of color under light. If this theory is true, it would mean that a few experimental or leftover planchets accidentally entered the Denver Mint's press line and were struck with 1990 dies, making them incredibly rare. Adding to its uniqueness, this specific coin showed what experts describe as die cracks, tiny raised lines running across Lincoln's shoulder and through the date, caused by stress fractures in the die steel that expanded over time, leaving behind raised metal trails on the coins they struck. These cracks, often referred to as die breaks, are highly collectible because they act like fingerprints, identifying specific dies and linking coins to precise moments in mint history. One particularly famous example of this 1990 D penny shows a massive die crack connecting the rim to Lincoln's bust, almost resembling lightning, while smaller die chips can be seen within the letters of "Liberty" and "United States of America" on the reverse, giving it even more personality. As experts began to examine this coin under magnification, they realized something extraordinary. It wasn't just a single type of error, but a combination of several major ones: a double die, a misaligned strike, a possible wrong planchet, and die cracks all in one specimen, a combination so improbable that it may never happen again in exactly the same way, and that's what catapulted its value to the multi-million-dollar range. Collectors understand that rarity and condition are the two cornerstones of value, and this coin had both, being the only known example of its kind and surviving in mint state condition, graded by PCGS as MS68 red, meaning it retained its full fiery copper color and near-perfect surface quality with no visible circulation wear. When such a coin goes to auction, the bidding can be intense, with wealthy collectors, museums, and private investors all competing to own a piece of history, and when the hammer fell on this coin's sale, the final price hit an astonishing $4 million, making headlines across the numismatic world and beyond. But what exactly makes people willing to pay millions for a penny? It's not just about the metal, it's about the story, the rarity, and the mystery of how such a coin could exist. Some numismatists believe the die used to strike this coin may have been part of a short-lived test run, possibly during maintenance or calibration at the Denver Mint, and when it was mistakenly used to strike circulation coins, it produced a handful of these rare errors before being replaced, meaning that only a few coins, perhaps fewer than 5, were ever made before the mistake was caught. Others speculate that the coin may have been struck during a die setup phase when pressure and alignment were being adjusted, causing multiple misstrikes on a single planchet that somehow escaped detection. The existence of such coins offers a glimpse behind the curtain of mint operations, where even a tiny misalignment or misfeed can result in something truly extraordinary. Beyond the technical side, the 1990 Pennies story also highlights the unpredictable nature of collecting. Many of the greatest finds in history were discovered by ordinary people sorting through change or inspecting coin rolls. It's entirely possible that this multi-million-dollar coin once sat unnoticed in someone's drawer or passed through vending machines before being recognized for what it was. That possibility fuels the imagination and keeps millions of hobbyists searching through coins every day. The thrill of discovery, the idea that you could find a fortune in your pocket, is what keeps the coin market alive. Even decades later, the 1990 penny continues to fascinate experts who try to reconstruct exactly how it happened. The Denver Mint in 1990 was operating at full speed, producing billions of coins using high-pressure presses striking at lightning speed, each die set to create uniform perfection. For a coin like this to exist, something had to go wrong at multiple stages, perhaps a misaligned hub during die creation, a malfunctioning feeder system introducing the wrong planchet, and then a press operator who didn't catch the error before it was bagged and shipped. Such a convergence of mistakes is astronomically rare, which explains why a single surviving coin became worth millions. When this coin was authenticated, numismatic institutions analyzed it under microscopes, X-ray fluorescence machines, and weight tests to confirm that it was genuine. Every tiny imperfection, every microscopic scratch, and every plating irregularity was documented, and it passed every test, confirming its authenticity and securing its place among the great modern rarities. The coin's fame only grew as it appeared in publications, exhibits, and documentaries, where it became a symbol of how chance and precision coexist in minting. Collectors around the world began scouring their 1990 pennies, hoping to find another with similar characteristics. While minor errors from that year exist, none have matched the magnitude or combination of features seen in the $4 million coin. It remains unique, a once-in-a-century find. Even its appearance tells a story. Under natural light, its surface gleams with a reddish-gold tone slightly deeper than typical zinc cents, likely due to subtle variations in the copper plating thickness. On the reverse, faint signs of a die clash, where the dies struck each other without a planchet, can be seen near the Lincoln Memorial steps, producing ghostly lines that hint at the coin's turbulent creation. These physical features act like clues in a mystery, each one revealing part of how the coin came to be. For collectors, that's part of the allure, the ability to hold history in their hands, to study it, to decode it. Last 2004 1-cent coin, everyone to the channel where small coins tell big stories, where the tiniest piece of metal can hold the power to change lives, and where history, luck, and minting precision come together to create treasures hidden right in your pocket change. And today's story is about a truly astonishing find that shocked the numismatic world, a 2004 1-cent coin. A simple Lincoln penny that turned out to be worth an incredible $3 million because of its unbelievable minting errors, hidden mistakes, and the rare combination of anomalies that transformed this little copper-plated zinc coin into one of the most talked-about rarities of the modern era, a coin that proves that sometimes, even the smallest details can hold the biggest value. So if you've ever wondered whether that penny sitting in your wallet might be worth a fortune, this story will open your eyes to the endless possibilities hidden in everyday coins. The 2004 Lincoln 1-cent coin, struck at a time when billions were produced each year, doesn't immediately look different from any other coin at first glance. It bears the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, with inscriptions like "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 2004. But beneath that ordinary appearance lies a numismatic miracle that defied minting logic. This special coin became famous after being discovered by a collector who noticed strange anomalies that didn't match any regular issue from that year, and when he sent it for grading, experts were stunned to discover a combination of multiple minting errors never before seen together on a single coin, creating a one-of-a-kind specimen that would go on to fetch a price tag of $3 million at a major auction. To understand how this 2004 1 cent became so valuable, we first need to understand what makes a coin error so important. Minting errors can occur at different stages of production, from planchet preparation to die creation and striking, and each type of error carries its own story. In this particular case, the 2004 penny is believed to have several overlapping errors that together created something no one had ever recorded before. One of the most prominent errors identified was a dramatic double die on the obverse side, where the date, 2004, as well as the word, "Liberty," appeared with clear and visible doubling. This doubling is not the result of machine movement or damage but happens during the hubbing process, when the design is transferred from the master hub to the working die, and if the hub shifts slightly between impressions, it leaves behind a doubled image that gets replicated on every coin struck by that die. Such a strong doubling is rare, but what made this coin even more exceptional was that the reverse side also showed slight doubling on the columns of the Lincoln Memorial, a phenomenon known as a dual-sided double die error, something almost never seen in modern U.S. coinage. But the story doesn't end there, because under close inspection, the coin also displayed a significant die crack running diagonally across Lincoln's bust, from his shoulder toward the rim, creating a raised vein-like mark that collectors often call a spider crack. Die cracks occur when the steel die used to strike coins develops tiny fractures from repeated stress, and when these cracks deepen, they leave raised metal lines on the coins themselves. The presence of a die crack adds another layer of rarity, especially when it's large and prominent as in this case. But the most mind-blowing part of this particular 2004 penny story came from its metal composition. When the coin was weighed and tested, experts found it didn't match the standard copper-plated zinc specifications of that year. Instead, the coin weighed slightly more, suggesting it might have been struck on a transitional planchet, possibly a leftover bronze planchet from pre-1982 or an experimental foreign planchet used for testing at the mint. Transitional errors are among the rarest types in U.S. history, as they occur when leftover or incorrect planchets accidentally get struck with current year dies. This could happen if old blanks remained in the hoppers or were mistakenly mixed in during changeovers between production runs. The possibility that this 2004 penny was struck on the wrong metal immediately skyrocketed its desirability and value, especially since no other 2004 transitional error of this kind had ever been confirmed before. Microscopic analysis also revealed microscopic die polishing lines, evidence that mint workers had attempted to clean or rework the die, possibly after discovering minor defects, which could explain why the doubled features and die cracks coexisted in one coin. Perhaps the die was nearing the end of its life and was polished and reused one last time, unknowingly creating this masterpiece of imperfection. In addition, the coin exhibited a slightly off-center strike, estimated at about 5%, meaning the design was slightly misaligned, creating a thinner rim on one side and a thicker one on the opposite. While minor off-centering alone is not usually valuable, when combined with major doubling, die cracks, and possible wrong metal composition, it becomes part of an incredible series of minting mishaps that make this coin truly unique. The discovery of this coin shook the numismatic community. It was authenticated and certified by PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, as a genuine mint error and graded MS69 red, indicating near-perfect condition with full red luster, brilliant surfaces, and only the faintest microscopic imperfections. Its condition was almost miraculous for such an error coin, as most mint errors are damaged during striking or handling, but this one appeared flawless, making it even more desirable. When the coin finally hit the auction block, bidding was fierce. Collectors from around the world, including private investors and museums, competed to own this one-of-a-kind piece of American minting history. The hammer eventually fell at $3 million, setting a record for a modern U.S. 1-cent coin. The sale proved that modern-era errors could rival even classic rarities in value if their combination of factors was unique enough. Experts speculated on how such a coin could have come to exist. Some believed it was struck during a transition between die maintenance cycles, perhaps during the replacement of a hub or while testing new pressure calibrations. During that process, a leftover planchette might have entered the press, resulting in a coin that shouldn't exist under normal conditions. Others suggested that the coin could have been part of a short experimental run when mint workers tested die alignment or pressure, resulting in a few misstruck pieces that escaped detection. Whatever the true cause, it remains a perfect example of how the complexity of mint machinery and human oversight can occasionally create something extraordinary. The 2004 1-cent coin's discovery reignited interest in searching through modern pocket change, reminding collectors that treasures still exist, not only in ancient coins or gold pieces but also in the everyday currency we take for granted. Even today, hobbyists check their 2004 pennies for signs of doubling, cracks, or unusual coloration, hoping to find another like it. Though no exact duplicate has been confirmed, minor variations with lesser doubling or die chips from that same year have been found, indicating that the die used for the $3 million coin may have produced a small number of flawed coins before being replaced. However, none have matched the dramatic combination of errors and the pristine condition of the legendary specimen. The coin's appearance is mesmerizing. Under bright light, the copper plating gleams with a reddish-gold tone, while the doubling creates an almost 3D effect on Lincoln's profile, giving him a shadow-like echo. The reverse's slight misalignment causes the Lincoln Memorial steps to appear slightly skewed, almost as if viewed through a distortion. These physical imperfections tell a story, one that goes far beyond metal. They represent the unpredictable intersection of machine precision and human error, a tiny accident that became a masterpiece. Collectors often talk about the wow factor of a coin, the instant visual impact that separates something ordinary from something extraordinary, and this 2004 penny had it in abundance. It wasn't just an error, it was art born from imperfection. Over time, the legend of this coin grew, inspiring countless stories, YouTube videos, and discussions across collector forums. It became a teaching tool for new hobbyists to learn about double dies, die cracks, and planchette errors. In educational exhibits, experts used it to explain the different stages of minting and how even advanced machinery can falter. Its fame reached beyond collectors. News outlets, investment magazines, and even mainstream TV shows featured it as an example of how unpredictable value can be. A coin worth 1 cent turning into 3 million symbolizes something deeply human, the idea that beauty, rarity, and fortune often come from mistakes. For seasoned numismatists, the coin also carries deeper meaning. It highlights a period in mint history when technology was advancing rapidly but still prone to occasional mechanical hiccups.